Jeremy is a guy who's done some things with software and games. And tonight he's going to tell us how he's doing in the game business. If you have one of these smartphones, you may have one of his games. Jeremy, I forgot your last name. Alessi, I just asked him.
All right, how's everyone doing tonight? Good? Yeah? All right. Give a round of applause for all these great speakers that have come before me. Everyone's presenting amazing things. So I want to kind of lead off. How many people watched the debate the other night? And there was, yeah? All right, there was a part where they asked President Obama about, all these Apple devices and wondering about manufacturing jobs. Well, I want to, come here and say that the App Store has generated 400,000 jobs in this country, all based around this stuff. And that's a really big deal. But anyway, I'm Jeremy Alessi. I'm a game developer. I've done Sims, apps, and serious games, and I've been doing it for about 15 years. My studio is Midnight Status. And so, as you saw on the first slide, my presentation is about topping the App Store for $1,000, and I'm going to give a brief history. 2008 was kind of the first year for the App Store, and anything went. You had, fart apps and like big red buttons and all sorts of stuff like that, and people were just totally entertained by that stuff. In 2009, in-app purchases came around, and kind of the level of polish on these apps went up a lot, and people were buying content even on apps they were getting for free. In 2010, the quality level went up even higher. We had Retina displays. That's a 960 by a 640 display on your iPhone 4. And with the quality going up, a lot more people jumped in, and the competition really, really started to heat up. And as a consequence, people started dropping their prices even more. I don't know if you've noticed this, but apps have gone from, or games have gone from $60 to 99 cents to free. And that's kind of all because of this freemium and also the charts on the App Store. It's kind of like exponentially beneficial to make your app free. In 2012, there were third-party services that kind of now rule the App Store. Like just going free on the App Store and just being on the App Store, it's not quite enough. You need to tie in with as many of these services as possible. There are things like Chartboost and Playhaven. And of course, the odds are really incredibly against you. The big guys will spend $100,000 on advertising in a day to keep their app at the top, and they'll make $500,000 a day. They'll gross that, which is pretty crazy. And so there's a strategy to become successful with this, and it's basically to start small and iterate really quickly. And you kind of have to test your stuff out. And, just iteration is something that you can't reinforce enough. So the tactics, that's to qualify and find a niche, add features, and go free. And this is kind of a process that I followed to take Airspin, which I made for $1,000, to the top of the charts. It was the number one app in France overall, except for Apple's apps that they made you download with the iPhone 5. And to do this, I qualified my app. I put it out with no advertising for 99 cents in July, and kind of saw what it did. And I've done several apps this way. If your app doesn't barely get downloaded, don't worry about it. Just go on to the next one. If it gets over 100 sales a day, then move on. So after you do that, after you qualify your app, you find your niche, and you can raise the price. You can start charging $4.99, and these people will buy it. They love that app. After you go to $4.99, you go and you want to start adding features. And this is kind of your build-up to go free, but you'll add extra little perks that can kind of go into your app, and people will purchase those over the $4.99 price that they paid. So in Airspin, we had airplanes and other things like that. Then you go free and use a service to do this. If you go free, there's a lot of sites that will kind of back your app, and it will rise the charts. But services, they have built-in audiences, and they'll make you go up even higher. So you can get up to 100,000 downloads a day. And these services, there's a lot of them now. So you want to pit them against each other, make them compete. I was in a situation where I could either pay $7,000 for one service to promote my app for one day, or there was another new and up-and-coming service that I got in touch with, and they did it for free. And you've got to layer these services. So there's things like I mentioned Chartboost and Playhaven, and there are dozens of them now. And these things all link to the App Store from outside. It's no longer about just being on the App Store, although that's still the biggest thing. You pit them against each other. And you've got to communicate with your users. So you read the reviews, you build a Facebook page, you build a Twitter page, and you get people talking. Sometimes it can be kind of difficult to get people on your Twitter and your Facebook page, things like that. They might leave nasty reviews. So you incentivize people. You use your in-app currency, which is actually the kind of the best form for purchasing because you can manipulate it in a lot of ways. So something I just did with Airspin was start giving people 25,000 credits in the game if they'll get on the Facebook and Twitter, and the numbers went up. I started getting 500 people a day. And then you extend your concept. So I came up with something that people liked. I made it free. I made it better. I added things, and now it's time for real quality content that people will pay, more money for, and automate. This business is great because you can make something that will work for you when you're not working. You can take a trip and your money's still coming in. So it's a pretty cool business, and it's something that's new. And I don't know if people want to manufacture or if they want to make apps, but I think making apps is great.
Thank you. Was it Sean? Awesome. Jeremy. Right. Learn something new every day.